My name is Charlie Apigian, and I am the Executive Director of the Belmont Data Collaborative. The mission of the Belmont Data Collaborative is really twofold. First, we want all students at Belmont to have data skills. So that goes from the person in performing arts all the way through our data science major. Second is working on hard problems within our community where we can hopefully drive change for the better from a data-driven perspective. So we look to do good in the community and also give all of our students data skills. Juicebox has impacted my role here through the Data Collaborative is really both in both aspects of the external and internal approach that we have. Internally, we have been using Juicebox within our classes, especially those classes where they want to convey a story, but they may not have the skills at the data analyst or data science level. So we have students in journalism over in our business college using Juicebox with the data that they have, and they've been using it to tell compelling stories directly in their courses. Second, we have been using Juicebox to help tell the story of our data projects. Specifically, I can give you an example. We actually have been working with a food bank down in Antioch, and we have been analyzing their data to be able to figure out new ways that they can offer additional resources to the people that come there. And so instead of giving them the boring PowerPoint, I put it into a Juicebox app and I showed them their data dynamically. And every time they had a question, we were able to answer it right there by just clicking on a different chooser or a way to show it directly within Juicebox. And we had an incredibly lively discussion and came out of that meeting with actionable solutions for next steps on what they can do for the people that come to their food bank. I use Juicebox internally, especially, is I use it as a first step anytime I'm presenting data to somebody. You have to think about it. You go into a lot of meetings when you're doing things with data and you don't know what they're going to ask you. So for me, that initial meeting, whatever it is, the best way to convey a message is to be able to answer questions on the fly. And Juicebox gives you that dynamic ability to be able to do that. And so for me, I couldn't imagine going into any first meeting where I'm presenting data without Juicebox. I'm telling you, it's the perfect way to continue to answer questions directly during that initial visit. I think the best thing I can best way to describe it is I had a different approach to how I presented. I presented like I was presenting to data scientists or other data people, not realizing that the story, the message had to be conveyed differently to those that were intimidated by data. You know, for me, I love getting into Python, using dashboards and getting all of the data on the screen at the exact same time. And for me, that's important. For other people that are in the data space, that might be important. But for people where it's the first time really seeing this kind of stuff, or they're a little bit intimidated, that can be too much. So Juicebox allowed us to tell the story succinctly, clearly, and in a way that was story driven, as opposed to, the shotgun approach to data. And so I think that's the most important thing. So yes, I was actually showing people my code during meetings, and the glazed over look that I would get, and I realized I'm doing something wrong here. And so then I would go, well, then I've got to show it to them in Excel. And again, yes, Excel's familiar, but still conveying the story is hard to do in an Excel file, where Juicebox allows you to start at the top and work your way down with text and pictures in between that, so that, it always forces me to do things in a story-driven approach. And that, I feel, has gotten better buy-in and better and more lively discussions. The favorite thing about Juicebox is easy. Let me give you two things. First and foremost, it forces me to create the right story for the data that I'm presenting. And that to me is incredibly important. So I'm always thinking strategically when I'm using Juicebox, as opposed to, again, the shotgun approach. The second part is the customer service. When you're on there using the product, if you are to ask a question, usually, I mean, you're getting an answer immediately. They'll also do nice check-ins with you, making sure that you are using it to the way that you want to use it. And then they have plenty of good videos showing you how to do things. I remember looking at it just to figure out how to use a chooser one time, and within 5 minutes, I was able to use it. That power to go from novice to user within just a few hours, I think is vitally important. And that's the great stuff about Juicebox for me. And so, you know, just in general, if you have people that are intimidated by data, this is a tool that can easily take you from, again, intimidation to expert or data storyteller quite quickly.